So we've covered portfolio management, we've covered taxes. One thing I really wanted to bring people's attention to, because there's a lot of people that don't know this, but every month for our crypto students, we do a live masterclass event where they get 3 hours with you. So if you think this is good for the 15, 20 minutes that we spend breaking this down, Andy goes through the markets live, and you give specific breakdowns. And I know I saw that you posted one for a crypto, and it doubled within a few hours. So I'd really love for the people that don't get to come on the live masterclasses to actually go hunting for trades with you. I just want to give them a bit of a glimpse of what is actually possible, because I know there's probably people watching this that are like, okay, cryptos, I'm still not sure. Is it really producing the gains that people are talking about? And this is, I mean, I know you've got more than one from this last weekend's masterclass that happened, but again, we're pushed for time, so we'll try and spend as much time as we can on this, just to show you guys what's possible.
Let me do a screen share. So I'll bring in my trading view. That's it. Yeah. So this is this is the one that I was we were looking at, and this is a perfect example of a cryptocurrency that you might have been sitting in for quite a while. It wasn't really doing much. And this is why patience is so important. I basically bought some of this around here at 250, and I held it. And we were looking at this on the last masterclass, and I was basically talking about this as a good long-term investment. And and we kind of finished the masterclass. And if you look at what's been happening here, really, it's from a charting point of view, not a tremendous amount, but it had really great fundamentals, a really good solid project, and I think this has got a lot more upside to it, a lot more upside. And when you can kind of marry the two, when you can do fundamentals with the technicals, it allows you to be patient. So, nothing was really happening, but we kept the trade open, and I couldn't believe my eyes, honestly, Gab. Like, I mean, I was expecting this to go higher, but within an hour, it came back down since then. But from the time I've entered it, it's still like nearly a 3x. And it's only like a month and a half. But it was even more. I mean, within an hour, it tripled.
I couldn't even see that spike. There's a spike. In case your screen's not showing it, make sure you kind of, just zoom in a little bit more and show the spike, because I've only just caught that now on my screen. So it actually went up to $11. Wow.
It went up to here, yeah. And obviously, it's overshot. Now, part of portfolio management here this is a good example of what we were saying before. So what you could have done if you were in this trade is you could have said, look, this is kind of parabolic. Like, once you've doubled to $8, for example, from $4, you can start to think about, if you had a sizable position on this, you might think about saying, actually, do you know what? Maybe I'm going to take some off the table here and then put it somewhere else, or buy it a little bit cheaper. So, I'll be honest with this one. I took 25% off. Normally I would consider taking a bit more off, but I was actually planning on accumulating more. So I've got a good position size on this, but I was planning on accumulating a bit more. And so I thought, well, I don't want to take 50% off. I'll take 25% off. And if I can get a good price, I'm going to look to rebuy. So even where we are right now, it's actually not a bad price at all. If I show you what we've done, we've basically broken resistance.
Well, it's just doing a classic Andy Demi technical analysis, isn't it? Yeah. Previous resistance broken.
Old resistance becomes future support. We're basically there now. So I could reaccumulate my 25% basically here, and I would be better off. And this is the kind of stuff that I do quite a bit. So I trade, but this bit I do quite a lot, and I'm quite active in managing my trades this way. So, and it takes a little bit of organization, because obviously if you're, I regularly review my position size for each crypto. So I will have, for example, let's say the micro trades might be, okay, I want to have $1,000 in the micro ones, and the medium sized ones, maybe you want to have 2.5, and the big ones, maybe you want to have 10, and then the bigger ones, you might have 15, whatever it is. That do the numbers yourself, like $100, 500, 1,000. And so I know, okay, Cello fits in the medium category. So I will say, okay, so overall I need to have at least, say $5,000 in it, for me, for my account size. So I will regularly check and say, right, okay, how much have I got in this? And I'll make notes and I'll put alerts in. Okay, let's put some alerts. When the price goes a little bit lower, I need to reaccumulate to build it up to that $5,000. Like if I've taken some profit, if that makes any sense. So, and I'm often like saying, okay, well, this is pumped. I've got that 25%. I'll put my alerts in, but now I've got that extra money. I can go and put it somewhere else as well. And then when this is ready, I might have closed some other ones and I'll go and put it back into this. And I always keep spare cash. I don't use all of it up. And even if you didn't, you can use a little bit of margin to help you out if you need it. So that's the beauty of like these exchanges. You can just go and borrow a little bit, just if something's imminent to go, and then just pay it back and just go back into spot. So for most people, they're probably not going to want to be this active, but I am, because I'm looking to grow my account as proactively as possible without necessarily taking on too much risk. So the only thing that's happening is my time. But again, I'm not in front of my screens, guys. Like I'm putting an alert. So I actually did get an alert for this. I put an alert here. It popped off, and I knew that the price had come back to a potential buy zone. So I know I can reaccumulate a little bit here again. And I came out at 9. It went a bit higher, and now I can buy back again around this sort of 630, 640. And it's not a lot, but it really adds up, because you've now got the same position size as before, but you've got a little bit of extra dollars that can go somewhere else. And maybe you'll go and buy a little micro account, a little micro one that's $300-400, and suddenly that explodes. And that's how I'm basically growing my account. Does that make sense?
Yeah, smart. Well, not just for me, but guys, let us know if it makes sense. Obviously, the ones tuning in live, the ones watching on the replay, unfortunately, you can't, but them's are the breaks.
I'll just say one more thing. We did an unbelievable trade in the masterclass. I will see if I can we can find that trade. But basically, one of the other key things about growing the account in a safe way is really timing your entries. I don't know if I have it here. Obviously the masterclass is recorded. For those people that were on it, I know that we literally got the spike perfectly, and it was I don't have the exact position size. I can't remember. What day was it? Was it last week?
Saturday.
Thursday. What was any idea? Was it Saturday? It was Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Saturday the 28th, I believe. Let me just double check. Yeah, 28th. Mate, like we were saying yesterday, it's freaking September already tomorrow. I don't even know how we've got there. So let alone what the date was last weekend. But apparently it was 28th.
Okay. So, yeah, it was this one. So it's not so clear here, but we did a whole load of analysis, had all our lines in, and we literally said, right, okay, I think it's going to stop here, 47,800. And actually, if you put the perpetuities, what we bought, it went there exactly to 47,805. It bounced and then went straight up to target and came out, and then the market went down. I mean, and when you look at this, you think, oh, there's no opportunity. But when you do that level of analysis, that level of detail, you pinpoint those areas, you get in at the right price and you get out at the right price, and you're making a really high reward to risk trade. So you're making a lot for the risk because you're timing the market. Somebody posted yesterday, I think Kevin, I don't know if you're here, Kevin, like he timed the market perfectly. He took a trade in Bitcoin and he posted it in the private group, I think. And he said, look, normally, Kevin's here, I think. So normally he would just jump into stuff, but he's by kind of taking a more patient approach and just waiting like the way I wait, he was able to get the right price and get out at the right price. And Kevin, if you're here, like you might want to share, like what a difference that makes, right? When you do your analysis, you do your levels, you're confident, and then you are patient and you wait and you let the market come to you. And you caught a really nice trade in a market that really, for most of the untrained people, if you look at it, you think, well, where's the opportunity? Look at that chart. But I know the level of detail you would have gone to find that trade. That makes the difference. So it's like, we get into that world of like, okay, let's do our lines, let's find our confluences. Right. It has to come here or nothing. That's what we say. That's how we trade. It has to come to my price or there's no trade. And by doing that, you're getting at the right price. And luck is always on your side when you do that. When you're patient, luck is always on your side. Like more often than not, it spiked into my target and then it goes the other way. Whereas if I was a little bit unlucky, it could have spiked and missed me, right? But it just somehow by doing the right things, you just seem to get luckier. That's my experience anyway.
Awesome. And Kevin is on and he's saying, made a huge difference. Patience is the key. Don't FOMO. My fellow Fat Willie alumni, great to see you doing well, my friend. So to finish the show, let's jump into a little bit of Bitcoin analysis and see what's likely to happen from the next 7 hours to the next 7 days, just while you're doing that. It's one of our students. He said, Dan, I missed the masterclass. Is there a replay somewhere? If you're still a student and you've got access to them, well, you're a student, but if you've still got access to them, then you would have got the replay. So yeah, maybe we can speak about that with you afterwards, because we are trying to find a way to make them more available to people, because there's just so much gold in this. So guys, watch this space, because we're going to try and make it more open to more people, like we said, because this really needs to get out to more people, and the more people we can help in the group, the better. So with that being said, you just want to do
I'll do a quick breakdown. So look, the reality is right now, the market sentiment is mixed. So from a fundamental point of view, it's the signs are bullish from a fundamental point of view. If you kind of do some on-chain metrics, you can see money's moving from the exchanges, which normally means that people are storing Bitcoin. However, that doesn't always tell the whole truth, because there's a lot of ways that, if you're a whale, there's a lot of ways of like dumping your positions and buying them cheaper later without us ever knowing about it. You can do it privately. That happens a lot. So the metrics aren't always telling, but I do always believe in the charts and following the charts. And what I quite like at the moment, I mean, look, if you look at it from one point of view, let me just show you something I don't know if this is the right, I was doing it on my PC, but let me see if this is the right chart that I wanted to show. So from one point of view, we have this outer support line, and the market basically.
Sorry, I can't see your screen.
Ah, right. Apologies.
And I've learned now to just say it straight away.
There you go. Right. So sorry about that, guys. So as I was saying, the metrics look bullish, but if I look at this support line here, I saw this morning that this had broken, but I wasn't, I mean, of course, anything can happen, but I wasn't thinking, oh man, that's really bearish. And I don't know why. Like, I actually think the price action in general has actually been quite bullish. Why? Because if you guys recall, we've been talking about 50,000 to 52,000 for a number of weeks, not just since it's happened, but way before that, when it was at 40, 45, we were saying 50K to 52K is really important. This is where we're going to really see what Bitcoin's made of. Is it ready to break its all-time highs, or is that going to be where we end the story and the market goes back, and that's how we kind of see out the year? Now, we've reached the 50,000, right? And we're not the only ones that have been talking about 50,000. There are probably a lot of other people, influencers, that have been talking about 50,000, I'm sure, because it's a technical level from a charting point of view and also a psychological point of view. But here's the thing that I've noticed so far, and I say so far because I know cryptos have a way of, really embarrassing us. But in general, I like to think that we're pretty good at analyzing what's going to happen. But the reality is that so far, we've reached this critical level that everybody's known about, but yet the market hasn't really fallen. It's stayed up there like a pain in the backside. It's just there, right? It's like, well, we've got this resistance, but it's not pushing down. Like, it's pushing down, but it's just staying there. That's the kind, and I'm going to say typically, that's the kind of price action you see before a breakout higher. Now, as I said, that doesn't mean that it's not going to go down. It can, and any tweak can create the markets to go down. But purely from what I see right now, even though we had this break, and I look at this daily chart, this price action right now is bullish. This is very, very strong price action. This is the tricky part. We're at resistance. My anticipation is we are going to break higher. But it's almost like it's like you're about to break a brick wall with your hand, and you just need a little bit of energy to do it. And that's what it feels like to me. Now, as I said, I could be wrong. I haven't reduced my position size in Bitcoin. So I've spoken about before portfolio management, moving money from one to the other. I have not reduced my position in Bitcoin. What I have done is I have reduced my position in Cardano, and I've increased my position in Ethereum. Because, as I said before, these ones have got they haven't exploded higher the way that Cardano has. Now, I love Cardano as a project. I think it's got a great long-term future, but it's hit nearly $3 and it almost needs a rest. So I think, again, I could be wrong, but my money is better spent in these cryptocurrencies. And I didn't want to reduce my Bitcoin position size because I think we will ultimately break higher. And even if we do pull back, I don't believe we're going to pull back to a point where we are anywhere near this level anymore. If we pull back, I think we're looking at this little purple line that I've drawn in here. I think that is your maximum pullback. And you want to kind of look at this channel line there and say, if this market does indeed pull back, this is an amazing buy zone. And believe me, I will be adding to my position size if we got that lucky.